Hello, everyone. Welcome back for another episode of Two Buys, Two Stools. As always, joined by my good mate, Daniel Woods for Keys to the Rock. Daniel, how are you doing today? Different polo, different day.
Different polo, different day. It is Keys to the Rock, not two buys, two stools, to be clear. I'm having a fantastic day. It's a beautiful day.
Lovely day in Bermuda.
Holiday coming up, so we're just enjoying the vibes.
Yeah, it's always nice when I'm, on Somerset Eve, I think, which is next week. So that's quite nice that'll be upcoming.
Oh, you're quick with it. Anywho, we're going to move past that right now. We'll circle back. First off, we had an awesome episode last time. This is episode 4 of Keys to the Rock. I think Ben got it wrong last time, but this is episode 4 of Keys to the Rock. On episode 3, we had Greenlight Energy, Cameron Smith, and he told us all these great things about basically solar and sustainability and, just things to sort of just help out your property and make it a little bit more energy efficient. So much appreciated to you.
Yeah, it was wonderful to be powered by them on the last episode, and I actually knew which episode it was, and that's a little plug for people to watch last episode.
Yeah, so if you haven't watched that, watch that one. Yeah. But this episode, we guys have a great guest, Damian Pitcher.
Great guy.
Have you met him?
All around great guy. Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
CG Insurance.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce the full name, but CG Insurance is where he works. And he's going to be basically going into detail about the different things when it comes to property insurance, home insurance, contents insurance, and the whole nine. He is assistant GM at CG. And
they are good like that overall. If you look at any of their content, #good like that, CG Insurance, they are really a fantastic leader in the industry.
100%. Ben he's on one today.
Yeah.
So anyway, Ben, I came into here. We are at the beautiful Riddles Bay. I'll let you go into more detail about the property, but beautiful Riddles Bay. Mm-hmm. You see the activity. You see it's busy. It's booming out there. There is a lot of trucks, vans, movement, construction, trees, landscaping, everything, the whole nine going on. Now, I know the details about everything like that, but I'm going to let you share.
Okay.
I'm going to let you share sort of the one, tell us about this house. 2, tell us about what's going on with Riddles Bay.
So thank you, Daniel. And they are actually calling it the Estates at Riddles Bay now. And I know that you guys actually did a lot of the appraisals on the different lots.
I know what you're talking about.
But it's important to know the values and the crazy amount of demand that's been out here for this community. So there are 18 lots of land that were subdivided here. So there's obviously no longer a golf course. And initially, there was a lot of uncertainty about that and how it would be received. But now there's only 5 left. Do quick math, 13 have sold. And, no big deal. And
big shock.
But it is amazing. And what they're doing is it's going to be essentially a private parkland. So if anyone's come on a drive down into the community, it's not open now to the public, essentially, to enjoy and walk around. So it really is making buyers here, have this great facility which to enjoy for years to come. So this house will be on the market shortly. We are undergoing. I will be listing it.
Oh, okay, cool.
And maybe after I sell it, you'll be appraising it. So we'll come full circle. But this was a pre-existing home here that has been totally gutted, expanded, renovated, and we are due to complete very, very soon. So it's literally right on the water and pretty tremendous what they're doing. So what's nice as well about this and other homes that are already in Riddles Bay is they are grandfathered in. So they get to enjoy all the benefits of the community, but they don't have to pay the monthly fees. So essentially, it's kind of like a HOA, homeowners association, for the landscaping and all of that, of the different paths and countless, trees and landscaping that they've done.
It's going to be like a full nature reserve and stuff like that.
So these guys were here already, and so the buyer of this will get to enjoy all of that.
Which makes sense, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then, so speaking of listing agents, that's something that we sort of wanted to talk about before we get into it with our good friend Damian Pitcher. Yeah. We want to sort of go into detail about sort of the differences of the type of agent you could have. You could have a point person that's sort of working somewhat to assist the buyer, and then you could also have the listing agent, because I find that sometimes a lot of people that I speak to, they have a little bit of a difficulty in understanding that that they could essentially, if I want to buy this house and you're listing it, I could reach out to my good friend Tosh Williams, for example, and then
new agent working for Rigo Sotheby's International Realty.
And then
shout out to Tosh.
And then she could assist me with dealing with you
Of course.
to buy this property.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, no. So whether there's a property listed with any company, any agent, you definitely can have that agent that you work with, and you give them your laundry list of items, must-haves, and everything, and they know everything that you've seen. You have that. You go on that journey with them. They know the level of professionalism and the feedback and everything. So sometimes when you only reach out to the listing agent, they're going to then send you the same properties that you might have already seen. Some of them you might have to chase up with 1,000 times. This is the business all about efficiency now. No matter what age group you are, people expect, proper and thorough communication on a, in a timely manner. So,
100%. And then usually when you have that person as your point person, they're sort of working in your corner per se to a degree where they're, they really have
discrepancy
it's a gray area, but generally, they're sort of trying to, they know what you're after, and they're trying to help you. But at the same time, as a listing agent, your responsibility is to the seller.
And exactly. And the reason behind what we just touched upon there is, real estate agents, the fiduciary responsibility, even if you're working with someone on the buyer side and they're taking you to other company or agents' listings, the fiduciary responsibility, even for that person, is always to the seller. Even though
Why is that?
Because it is in everyone's best interest, technically, of course, to get the seller the very best price, and that then generates the most stamp duty, conveyance fees, commissions, and everything involved. But without a doubt, people, there is a human element involved, and obviously if you're working with somebody, they care about your interests and want a deal to get done as well.
100%. So anyway, like I said, Somerset Eve, we'll circle back to that, because I think
wow.
No, because all right. So one of the things,
Somerset Eve, yeah.
That's still funny. I'm laughing at. So one of the things that we usually do is I would always say, hey Ben, give me an update on the market. What's the activity like? And you're going to say something along the lines
of, hey, Daniel, it's the same.
Yeah. Oh, it's booming right now. This is happening. This is happening. I've got bidding wars. I've got this. And, you go on, and, the people don't want to hear that this much.
No.
So in the spirit of Cup Match, I thought it would be a great idea to basically discuss two unique markets, such as
Somerset, Sandys,
and St. George's.
That was
okay, I was going to say. Sorry.
So,
tell me about Somerset, since you are the Somerset fan, and
No, absolutely. I mean, you lived in Southampton, but we're not going to get into that. Anyway, and you still do. So you ventured into Paget, but anyway, whatever. Central.
Can you tell me about Somerset?
So Somerset, despite being an amazing cricket team and having the cup for years on years and years, it's so funny. Everyone's I'll be
Tell
honest.
me about Somerset property, man.
I was going to get into a little cricket talk. Somerset, obviously, is far away from town. And I think the same goes with St. George's. And historically, both of those markets, I've always said that for the most part, if someone's going to sell their house, primarily your buyer's market is people who have grown up in those areas, gone to school in those areas, their family, they have some sort of connection to those areas because they want to be close to town. And, it is a funny thing because so many people around the world, they walk 30 minutes to work, 10 blocks or something like that. And in Bermuda, people are...
But Work Academy traffic, man. You don't have Work Academy traffic.
West of Paget lights. You just stay in the car, play some tune. I mean, it's nice to be in traffic sometimes. But for me, anyway.
Yeah.
But so... Somerset, obviously with the America's Cup, there was a big boost, I think, in
rentals,
in all the rental values
short-term
and everything like that. There's obviously was great promise with everything going down at Caroline Bay, and we'll have to see what happens with that to be continued. But, certainly you have the revitalization of Port Royal Golf Course, which is a phenomenal facility. So there's always things going on, Dockyard as well, but it definitely does get a little bit sleepy, which is unfortunate. And I think lately there's been more of a push towards St. George's, which I can lead into to you. But also people who do complain about traffic, they always want to be east of town because there's not as much traffic coming
it's a little
through.
Easier.
So, and with people working from home now.
I was going to say, to lean on that, it's been sort of a shift in sort of
more
the
bang
way
for your
business
buck.
is done, right? So there is great value for money in Somerset, and for
and
a lot
St.
of people,
George's, East and
yeah,
West.
no, for sure. So on the outliers, or I say outliers, but the locations a little further out, if you are working from home, regularly, you have the opportunity to have a waterfront property where you're going to get a little bit more value for money and a little bit more land, a little bit more size, and you can do things with it. And if you're working from home, I mean, that's what you want. You get your groceries delivered.
Well,
dock, et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, there was a house closing 2-3 weeks ago or something like that, and I know you did the appraisal on it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sold a lovely house in St. David's on the water for a wonderful price, but just under 2. If that house was Paget on the water with a dock and everything like that, that house would be, or if it was here, we're talking over 3 million. So it just goes to show that if you're willing to go a little bit east or west, you really can capitalize on what you can get for your money.
And then, so for me to talk about the team that is making great strides to get the cup back again, or where they're from, at least, St. George's. Right now, the activity in St. George's, just give like a general scope on the market, is you have St. Regis coming about. You have, I believe, what's it called? Just got sold.
On the wharf.
Summers Wharf just got sold.
Yeah.
You have a lot of activity in the square where new restaurants are popping up.
And new ownership and investing in those restaurants.
Yeah, so it's very vibrant and it's sort of coming about quite well. So with all of that activity, you are seeing that St. George's and the lack of traffic. That is a huge thing for a lot of people. But you see that is sort of, spearheading why there's pretty solid activity happening in St. George's. But I will say those markets are very unique, and it's very difficult to sort of you can't compare those to the rest of Bermuda. As Ben mentioned before, it's like if you're from St. George's, you want to live St. George's, or if you have ties there. And the same goes for Somerset, and St. David's obviously is in the same sort of scheme. But yeah, anyway, let's jump into. Well, we have our guest, right? So let's bring in.
He's sitting over there just staring at us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we get him on, or should we just keep talking?
I'm tired.
Keep him waiting. This is our show. You know what I mean?
Anyway,
let's get him on.
I forgot the tagline. What's the tagline?
Whatever.
Anyway, let's bring Damian Pitcher on. All right, Damian.
Good like that.
Damian is a young professional at CG Insurance, and as I mentioned before, he is assistant GM, heads up sort of property and casualty insurance locally, and he's going to basically just provide us with a lot of insight as we was putting together questions and asking people. A lot of people came with a lot of different questions that they wanted to know about property insurance, and he's here to answer those questions. So we'd like to welcome our third guest on our 4th episode, and hopefully the best one to come on yet, Damian Pitcher. So.
Hey guys, so as promised, we are joined by our guest, Damian Pitcher from CG Insurance. Damian, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ben. Good to be here.
Absolutely. So CG Insurance, maybe most of you know them by their absolutely amazing slogan, good like that, hashtag good like that.
Hashtag good like that.
I think it's self-explanatory, really, when you think about it, and all the moves that CG are doing.
Yeah. So Damian, we gave you a little intro and a little prep and, big you up and whatnot. But tell us about yourself. What do you do? What is your role at CG? And tell us about CG.
CG Insurance, I think we should say.
CG Insurance. I'm sorry.
I made that mistake, but let's continue on.
Yeah,
no problem. So thanks, guys. Pleasure to be here today. Really appreciate you having me on to talk about CG and a bit about insurance. My role in the insurance market, the domestic market, is one of the assistant GM or assistant general manager. I manage the property and casualty team in Bermuda.
Property
and casualty, but mainly property, specific today, of course, specifically home, if we're going to go that far.
Hey.
Yeah, thank you. But we do a host of different services on the island. We provide home insurance, business insurance, renters cover, also liability coverage, as I spoke about, marine, bike insurance, anything that's tangible on the island, we can provide coverage for it from an insurance aspect.
So you can insure your house, you can insure your life. But why is property insurance so important?
Well,
and does everyone get it? What percentage would you say actually gets property insurance?
Yeah, so that is an excellent question. And first of all, let me ask the first portion of it and why have it, why it's important. Many people, when they go to buy a home, they'll sign up for a mortgage with a bank. And first and foremost, the bank is going to require you to have it. It protects their interest. So in case your home is hit by a hurricane or it goes up in smokes in a fire, they want to make sure that they can protect the financial interest that they had in the property. Outside of that, we see a lot of people continuing to have coverage because they recognize the importance of it. Obviously most people aren't going to have a loss in a long time. It might be 20 or 30 years and you see nothing. But when it does hit, you want to make sure that you, as an individual or as an entity, a company, are financially whole after a loss.
Yeah.
Right. You might be paying $2,000 or $3,000 a year, but when that loss hits and your roof comes off, that's $200,000 or $300,000 that you want to make sure that you can collect on.
And you guys hate that.
No, I mean,
Oh boy.
it's actually really important because without losses, people wouldn't buy insurance.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plan for the worst, hope for the best type situation, and that's where good guys like you at CG Insurance come in.
Good like that.
Good like
Was that a good time?
that was perfect. honestly,
But it also goes to show with where people come first with CG Insurance. But talking about property insurance, is it something where someone like yourself, do you go to the properties and analyze? I mean, what are the factors? Right now we're on a property that's on the water. So this house, if this was on the hill, how do you analyze the risk and everything associated with storms or anything?
Yeah. So first and foremost, Bermuda has an awesome, regulatory regime when it comes to building codes and structures. We have some of the best built homes in the world.
100%.
We also happen to be in the middle of Hurricane Alley, so it serves ourselves pretty well. But whenever I approach a risk or one of the other underwriters, they're going to be looking for some basic elements. That starts with first and foremost construction. You'll know that homes in Bermuda are built with Bermuda stone or a concrete block, also slate roofs. We want to know what's in there. Right? Is it a bakery? Is it a home? Do you have a business in there? Because that's going to affect the potential for a loss. Right? You can have an office building with papers in there. Unlikely for anything to go wrong. But if you are welding in a building, then it might just go up in smokes.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Also, after that, we want to look at protection. So we want to look at, does it have blinds? Does it have shutters? Is it right next to the water? Is it, likely to be flooded, things of that nature. And then you also want to look at environmental aspects. Not everyone here is an underwriter, but you can imagine that homes on the South Shore are more likely to get hit than homes on the North Shore. So all elements that we look at.
Really?
Not always.
Well, the storms typically...
I'm a social guy, so I'm a little biased, but understood.
They come up that way and then the storms wrap around.
Yeah, so this is your...
So not only do we look at those elements, but when we approach a property, we want to take an approach to mitigate risk. Obviously, we're there to pay a claim, but we want to give advice to clients on how to make sure that their home is protected as well.
Sure.
Secured investment, do a thorough risk assessment, whatnot.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I see a lot, especially popping up in a lot of you guys' brochures and stuff when I was doing my research on CG Insurance, good like that, was under insurance. So could you delve into that and just sort of give people, because it's something that I never really knew about so much until I did my research. But it seems like it's something that's, pretty regular, that a lot of people are sort of underinsured with their properties, or, I'll let you take it from here.
Maybe what does that mean and how does that happen?
Sure, right. So first and foremost, I guess a layperson definition of underinsurance for the average person, and that's sort of our job to make sure that our clients understand. It occurs when a property, a home, any building of sorts is insured for less than the rebuilding cost of that home. So say, for instance, your home, you've just built it, costs $1 million to build, but you think you're going to be a bit savvy and insure it for $500,000 and save a bit of premium. While you would save a bit of a premium, you are putting yourselves at risk because the proportion that you underinsure by, the claim or the loss will be reduced by that same proportion.
Yeah.
So in that example, of a home that's 50% insured, if your roof comes off and it costs $200,000 in damage, you're only going to receive $100,000.
Right.
Yikes.
Right.
Yikes.
So that's something that as insurers and sort of trusted advisors, we really want to avoid. So my recommendation to any homeowner is to make sure that you have an honest conversation with your insurer. At CG, what we'll do when a policy is new, we actually go out and we provide a free survey.
Okay.
And every year thereafter, we provide a recommended sum insured for that person. And what that does is it actually reduces the chance of someone having an underinsurance issue in the event of a loss. And secondly, if your premium hasn't changed or your sum insured hasn't changed in 5, 10, 15 years, there's a reason. I mean, nothing costs the same as it did
inflation.
5, 10, 15
I was going to
years ago.
say exactly.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense to revisit those numbers.
That's why
the
people
the market real estate wise, as we know, has changed so much in 2 years. So what
That's-
about someone who's had a similar?
And that's why
policy
people get valuations over, consistently, just to sort of have an idea of some value.
all three of us are so connected right now.
Good like
I
that.
feel a bond.
yeah. Bermuda Triangle right here.
It is really important that you have a conversation with the insurance profession that you're working with, whatever company that is. You want to make sure that you have that conversation before a hurricane's approaching. I mean, the whole purpose of insurance, in my opinion, is to have peace of mind. And if you're underinsured, there's not much peace there.
And one of the things I'll just sort of say is that a lot of the information that Damian is sharing right now, similar to most people that we bring in most guests that we bring in for these type of interviews, is it goes across the board. So yes, Damian does work for CG Insurance, but generally it is information that's going out to anyone with any sort of insurance stakeholder you have. But CG Insurance is good like that. Okay, so Damian, one of the things that I find that a lot of people struggle with sometimes is they would misinterpret and can't really differentiate between the market value, which is what sort of me and Ben really work with necessarily, versus the insurance value, sort of like the true replacement cost. Can you sort of go into detail about that? Like, what's the difference?
Yeah, absolutely. And to a lot of people, I've seen this question come about. And there can be some confusion with it.
My house is worth X, Y, Z. What do you mean?
Exactly.
No, but the funny thing is in real estate, everyone believes their own business car that their house is worth more. Probably insurance they believe is worth less. Yeah. Right? Isn't that what they're trying to prove?
Yeah, I was going to say, it's got to be,
Yeah, I mean, to lean on some of my insurance background, I think a lot of where we get our knowledge from comes from motor insurance. I mean, if you're going to sell your bike or your car, you call up CG Insurance, say, hey, how much is my bike insured for? And then you call Joe and say, hey, Joe, I'm going to sell you my bike for this much. But it's a lot different when it comes to real estate, whether or not that's residential or commercial. So to get back to your question about the difference between insurance value versus replacement cost, market value. Market value, as you guys will know, is going to be the price that someone is willing to buy your home for.
A willing buyer and a willing seller.
And a willing seller, absolutely. Supply and demand.
Yeah.
When it comes to insurance value, what we're concerned about is putting your house back to what it was before the hurricane hit or the fire hit. So we need to be concerned with the real building cost at today's prices.
Yeah.
So what if there's like disputes over those numbers? Like you guys claim certain things or the replacement value, and I'm like, no. I just paid someone to build this house for X, Y, and Z. And are there challenges to that, or can you get second opinions, or?
Yeah, so we're happy
shooting from the hip here.
No, that you know what you're doing, Ben. Don't worry. We do provide free surveys at inception, but we commonly do encourage someone to go and get a quantitative surveyor as a second opinion. In the end, we just want to make sure that when it comes down to a claim, there's no dispute. I think the dispute should arise when we're having the conversation about insuring your home, not after your roof comes off.
When you're dealing with the
right?
claim, yeah.
So at the end, no matter what, I just want to make sure that you have peace of mind and you're happy that when you're sitting in your home and your shutters are rattling, that you're okay. So whatever that number is going to be, I want everyone to be in agreement.
Nice. And then speaking of shutters rattling, right now we're in August.
We're getting near.
Sorry, we're in July. What's your cup match team, by the way? Sorry.
St. George's.
What you done? Respect. All right.
Sorry, guys.
A little
By the way,
over
we're
there.
in Warwick. We're slightly to the west. So, I'm just feeling the positive vibes over here. Anyway, proceed. Dan.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, shutters rattling, hurricanes. So, at a house like this, what type of hurricane tips would you provide to anyone based on insurance? Like, from your perspective as an insurer, what would you say is some of the, 5 keys to the episode?
Keys to the hurricanes.
that you would give to just, a regular customer?
First and foremost, comes to insurance, it's about having a open and honest conversation with the insurance representative. Again, to reiterate what I've been saying, you want to know what your policy covers before the loss comes.
Yeah.
Right. That's really important. You want to make sure that you have windstorm coverage. You want to make sure that your sum insured is adequate. You also want to make sure, we haven't talked about it, but you want to make sure that not only the building is covered, but also the contents inside your home.
Yeah.
Right. Content sums insured can quickly run, from little amounts to really, really massive amounts.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that, the peace of mind stretches from the outside to the inside. Where possible, you want to make sure that you're going to protect your home to mitigate risk. That's going to be things like blinds and shutters, seawalls where necessary.
And you have to detail that out, don't you? I mean, because that's something I always find where...
Oh, it's thoroughly itemized. I mean, I have contents insurance, and I have everything from a TV.
No, well, I'm talking about like the seawalls and docks and stuff like that. Sometimes people can run into issues if they don't actually specifically label that. Is that... I'm just...
No, good question. And that's where why we still operate in a world where customer service is key. Yeah. We're there to walk you through a proposal form and the application process. We don't want you to have an oversight, and we deal with that on a day-to-day basis. Yeah. Kind of like what you guys do, right? Yep. I mean, that's why real estate agents are still necessary, and people are not just selling homes on Facebook.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Real estate agents are sometimes, but yeah, besides that. But what are some of the...
You're on Facebook?
I am. But anyway, but overall, like, what are some of the biggest mistakes maybe that some people make when they're making claims on their properties?
I'd say the biggest mistake that I can see, or that I've seen rather, is people waiting until they have everything in order to contact their insurance company.
Okay.
Don't wait. Contact us right away. Take pictures, get repair estimates done. And also, as soon as the hurricane is done and it's safe to go outside, it's been deemed safe by the EMO, go out there.
Who's that? Just so we can say for the people who don't know,
Emergency Measures Organization.
Okay.
Go out there and prevent further damage.
Right.
So if that means putting up a bit of plywood or throwing some tarpaulin on top of your roof, whatever it's going to take to reduce the damage or mitigate the damage, that's important. And you should also know that our policies do cover the cost to mitigate damage.
Awesome.
All right. So I feel quite... I feel
insured. I feel safe in my knowledge.
Can you hold me, Damian? No, but anyway, so
2 guys in pink shorts. I feel like they're ultimately bonded over here.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Two guys in blazers as well. So I appreciate that you've kind of you've been the middleman in all of this.
Yes. So tell us more about sort of the application process and what I guess the payment programs, because sometimes people like to think. I mean, the number one reason why people don't want to get insurance is because they think of the cost associated with it or the hassles to go ahead and apply for it. In this day and age, I assume things are a little bit more streamlined and things are a little bit more structured to make it a little bit more available to everyone.
Yep.
No, I get that. And, we're customers too. And I can be lazy at times, and I want things to be as easy as possible. So in today's day and age, it's important that we can reach out to our clients, online. So you can head over to our website, cgcarlisle.com. You're able to download proposal forms, claims forms, any form that you need to get your business incepted. Yeah. But as much as we live in a day and age where convenience is king, I think it's still important to talk to one of us, because that's where we walk you through the process and make sure that you are as knowledgeable as we are, and there's nothing missed. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't want a gap. You can also head over to hellocgi.com, where we have our new insurance portal, so you can renew your home and motor policies as well.
Wonderful. Mind blown, but thank you, Damian. I thought that was absolutely fantastic, and just another layer related to real estate that is ever so critical. And a lot of people always ask questions to myself, and certainly probably Daniel as well.
And if you have any questions for Damian, I think this is an ongoing theme that we've been doing recently. If you have any questions for Damian, I think we're going to have his email sort of pop up like
here, and
right
then,
here.
And I think maybe his phone number is going to pop up right next to his head.
So you can reach out to Damian for any of your insurance needs, and feel free to contact him, or if you want to reach out to him through us, by all means.
Damian, just like CG Insurance, good like that, and I just think it's fantastic what they're doing, and thank you, mate. Really appreciate it. Oh, there we go. Appreciate it.
Don't shake so much people's hands.
Should we shake again? That was.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Good like that.
All right. Thanks for coming, Damian.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Damon.
Last word. He likes the last word. All right. So thanks to Damian. A lot of knowledge right there. He really honestly provided like great value. And I feel like I personally know a lot more than
honestly,
I did before
all of these
started.
episodes, I mean, obviously we know what we do, but I'm learning a lot as every episode goes by, and just so excited to see where this goes and all the different future guests that we have. I know we have a good list of fantastic people. So thank you to Damian, and this is just awesome to see how this is all building up.
No, it's fantastic, 100%. And I think now I think we're sort of at that point where we just
keys to the rock. We got to work on that a little bit. We need like a little. It has to be a little song or something that we do. But anyway, let's just get to the facts. Let's get to the facts.
All right. So I guess my major takeaway from today would have been about underinsurance. Sometimes you're trying to cut corners on what you're paying in terms of your insurance premium. Cutting those corners could eventually come back to haunt you when you are trying to make a claim. So probably try to stay consistent, have a nice relationship and good relationship.
And we're obviously in a fairly risky area with storms and everything like that, so you don't necessarily want to take those risks.
You don't want to be catching the short end of the stick at any point. So I would say, really just try to stay on top. And if you don't have the insurance right now, or if you're underinsured, go and have those conversations and get it sorted prior to having to make a claim, because
before hurricane season, especially.
What about you, Ben? What's your?
I think maybe from like a real estate perspective, just the fact of when you are looking to buy or rent, when you go further east or further west, just how much more bang for your buck you can get. I would almost say, as the property we alluded to before, maybe close to double potentially the value if it was more centrally located. I wouldn't say that's the same with all properties, but really, if you don't mind, or if you are working from home, maybe try to expand your search criteria and the different parishes that you're looking in, because you really might find some special hidden gems out there that also typically spend longer times on the market when they're not centrally located, just on average.
Yeah, 100%. People's working lifestyles and work-life balance has become much more flexible and become much more apparent in terms of what they value. And so 100% on that point. So the business shout out that we guys are going to do today is, have you heard of On Track BDA?
Sock guys.
They're going to hate that you called them that. They're going to hate that you called them that. They are not the Sock guys. On Track is actually a digital app, phone app. And what they do is they basically have tables of a lot of Bermuda's main sports on their app. And then they also do offer merchandise.
Socks.
So they do they do a ticketing platform. They have workout wear and a whole bunch of different attire. So great guys over there. Shannon and Roger, they've been doing a fantastic job.
I've seen a lot of people supporting them and posting about them. So big up to On Track.
BDA, so big up to On Track BDA. Go check them out. If you're trying to watch cricket this season or football next season, I believe that for a lot of the different games, they're accessible to purchase tickets. So when we go check the game, you can use On Track, and we can go.
Somerset weekend's coming up, as we know, and so that's great to know.
No, so then I don't know if that's on it, but Coney game is on.
Yeah.
So Coney game, you have to get your tickets through On Track.
Wicked.
So
cool.
August 14th for Cleveland Coney. And on that note, like, share, subscribe, comment,
talk about it,
and thanks for joining us on Keys to the Rock.
Thank you, guys. Talk soon.
Episode 4.
Episode 4, correct.